Today is the 1st of April 2001. From today on, I'm going to talk about 7 purifications and insight knowledges. To be able to gain enlightenment, we must go through 7 stages of purification and insight knowledges, step by step. The first of all, the purity of virtue is required. This purity of virtue consists of 4 kinds of perfect discipline. Number 1 is keeping precepts. Number 2 is sense faculty restraint. 3 is the purity of livelihood. 4 is the discipline as regards the 4 requisites. Regarding the keeping precepts, for general people, keeping the precepts to be pure and firm is very important, such as refraining from killing, or stealing, or sexual misconduct, telling lies, and intoxicating liquors and drugs. These are 5 precepts. All of you already know about that. And these 5 precepts are said to be a universal law. Anyone who is well disciplined in his morality, there would be no harm in this present life, and reborn in happy existence in future life, especially for meditators. When you observe these 5 precepts purely and perfectly, you will not feel guilty for yourself. Once moral conduct is purified, the mind is also purified to some extent. Then your mind becomes steady, can easily attain the deep concentrations. This attain deep concentration of mind, which in turn give rise to wisdom. There are another 8 precepts. I never tell you about that. Another 8 precepts. There are another 8 precepts to be observed is in daily life for the lay people. In Pali word, we call that Ajiva Tamaka. Maybe you never heard before that, Ajiva Tamaka. This means 8 precepts which end up with the livelihood. They are refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, slandering, harsh speech, vain talk, and wrong livelihood. So 8 precepts, Ajiva Tamaka. We have to observe the 8 precepts too. The first 4 precepts is similar to the 5 precepts, right? This refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and lying. But from 5 to 8, it's different. It's slandering, harsh speech, vain talk, and wrong livelihood. Which end up with livelihood. That's what we call Ajiva Tamaka. Ajiva is meant livelihood, Tamaka is meant 8. In meditation retreat, observing holy 8 precepts is advisable by the purpose that to have more time to practice meditation and reduce the sensual desire, and so on. We call holy 8 precepts. As all of you already know, the holy 8 precepts are to refrain from killing, stealing, and sexual intercourse, lying, intoxicants, and eating at wrong times. Wrong times mean from noon to dawn hour. Yeah, 8 precepts, holy 8 precepts.
Right. Is that to be observed in general life or at a meditation retreat?
Not just especially for in meditation retreat. So the purpose is that to have more time to practice meditation and to reduce sensual desire. And refraining from dancing, singing, music, going to shows, wearing garlands, and purifying oneself with perfume and cosmetics. This one kind of precept. And the last one is refrain from sleeping and sitting on high or luxurious place. The purpose is to, reduce the sensual desire. That's why when our devotees come to the temple, observe 8 precepts, practice meditation, so we advise them to take these 8 precepts. So we have 2 kinds of 8 precepts, for general people and for devotees who come to practice meditation in retreat. 2 8 precepts. Regarding about the sense faculty restraint, after you are perfect with morality, you still need to restrain your 6 senses, by means of just paying attention to meditational practice and ignoring all sensual objects as well as mental objects, and also contemplating on the 6 sense objects which comes to be present in your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, without allowing craving, anger, and so on have rooms to arise. This we call sense faculty restraint. If any kind of mental defilements is arise during you are contemplating, it will be a great obstacle to your concentration. That's why we must be aware of whatever objects come to appear to your 6 sense basis. That's why you always need to restrain your sense faculty. This one kind of fighting. But we fight inside, right? It's not outside with someone else. We fight with our mental defilement. We don't let them to arise. When you be aware of every object what appear, you just be aware of, contemplate on them. As mental defilements, no chance to arise. And regarding the purity of livelihood, there's the meditators who wants to attain enlightenment in this life. A purity of livelihood is necessary. And regarding about your vocation must be pure by means of without violation of any precepts. See, you not kill. You got it about your vocation. You not kill anyone. You not steal. You not cheat someone. You not lie to people. Something like that, And also, you must avoid from trading arms, intoxicant, poison, human beings. The human beings mean in those days have slaves, right? That's trading a slave. Nowadays, it calls about prostitute, something like that. And flesh or animal for slaughter is not supposed to sell it. If your vocation regarding this violation of any kind of your precept, if you make this trading about this 5 kind of trading, you will not have purity of livelihood. And meditator whose livelihood is not pure, he will feel guilty for himself whenever he thinks about it. As no secret place in the world. You can lie to someone else, but you cannot absolutely lie to yourself. And by this reason, meditator should have guiltless vocation, so that he will be able to gain concentration easily and penetrate insight into the true nature of mind and matter. Now we're talking about purity of livelihood. And regarding about discipline as regards for requisites, a meditator should make reflection on using 4 requisites, which clothes, food, lodging, and medicine. Everyone we need that. And for the purpose that removing attachment on them. If you not make reflection on this 4 kind of requisites, maybe attachment will arise. So for the purpose that removing attachment on them, we should make this reflection. For instance, whenever you take a meal, should reflect on that. I have my meal. It's not for fun. Consider about that. It's not for fun. It's not for pleasure. It's not for purification, but only for the maintenance and nourishment of this body. And by keeping it healthy, I will be able to doing my duty and strive for spiritual liberation. So when you eat, consider about it. What's the purpose you are eating? Otherwise, you will attach to regarding about the food. And regarding about the clothes you are wearing, should be considered that I wear this cloth, this dress. It's not for the purification of my body, just for the purpose that's to ward off cold, heat, wind, burning, the touch of flies, creeping things, and so on. And also for the sake of modesty. So when you ready to go somewhere, you wear your dress, just think about it. What's the purpose you use you wear your dress, your clothes? Oh, this was very, very nice. I liked it. something like that, this attachment will occur. And regarding about lodging, the place, house, something like that, for the lodgings should also make reflection that I live in this building or this house, this monastery, this meditation center, for the purpose to remove the danger from weather, and for living in security, to be able to practice meditation without disturbance. Just think about it. At home or at monastery, when you practice meditation, you're not attached to your house, your building, your room. And for using medicine, sometimes you have to take medicine, or maybe sticks or juice. When we observe 8 precepts in meditation retreat, in evening we can drink some juice. So when you happen to drink some water or juice, you have to reflect on this juice, this medicine. This medicine is not only just the one we experience, just the vitamin, just including just the honey or sugar or orange juice and so on, what we can drink in evening, because we get hungry, to cure your hunger. Hunger is one kind of disease. So juice you reflect as a medicine when you drink some juice in the evening. So for using medicine should be reflect on, I take these medicines for the purpose to ward off painful feeling or hunger that arisen, and mainly for the freedom from disease. That's the purpose, right? And be able to practice meditation comfortably. If you get sick, you cannot practice meditation well. By making reflection on the 4 requisites, attachment will be no rooms to occur. See that? This for the purity of virtue, morality. We need 4, right? 4 disciplines. And for the purity of mind, go step by step. After your morality is purified, you will gain the purity of mind, so-called concentration. A purity of mind which consists of two kinds of concentration. For meditators who practice tranquility meditation, have to fulfill excess or proximate concentration and absorption or attainment concentration. This is for who have practiced tranquility meditation. This approximate concentration means gaining concentration, the proximity of mental absorption, almost gain jhana. That stage of concentration, meditators then be able to visualize meditational objects by the mind as if seen by the eyes. This proximate concentration. As mental hindrances are subdued for some extent, meditator is about to gain absorption in your future if you could keep continuous to practice your meditation. And when a meditator gains mental absorption or jhana, his concentration is called absorption, concentration, or attainment, concentration. Then purity of mind is fulfilled. And for meditators who practice insight vipassana meditation, have to start from momentary concentration. That's different, momentary concentration. In Pali, we call it Khanika Samadhi. That means meditators have to observe their mind on the primary object, which breathing in, breathing out, or rising and falling of abdomen, whenever they occurs at the present moment, the Khanika Samadhi. And also, meditators have to contemplate on the secondary objects which come to appear on a sixth sense basis at the present moment. Should be present moment. Such as concentration is called momentary concentration. This is for who practice vipassana. Now, we come to realize that tranquility meditation need to observe only one object, which mostly is concept. On the contrary, inside vipassana meditation need to observe on several physical objects as well as mental objects, which is reality, different, right? Reality. When momentary concentrations becomes mature, it is similar to the stage of proximate or excess concentration. The five mental hindrances are subdued. As to be fulfilled of this purity of mind, meditator who practice insight meditation should at least strive to reach to this level. As all of you know, the five mental hindrances which hinder the way to achievement of mental absorption, jhana, and insight knowledge, and enlightenment. So we fight with this five mental hindrances. If any one of them come to disturb our concentration, you cannot gain, concentration or insight knowledge. You cannot gain jhana, you cannot gain enlightenment. So there are sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness, remorse, and doubt. The five mental hindrances. Especially when you practice meditation, these five kinds of mental hindrances just come again and again. There are some the sensual desire, regarding about the form, the sound, the smell, the taste, the touch, even already past, already just think about in the past, just imagine about in the future regarding about this sensual object. That's because sensual desire. As area, you're not satisfied about someone, something in the past. You're upset about that. Get angry with someone. Just emotion, just because area. As some sloth and torpor, you feel sleepy, You want to give up your practice. So after we finish meditation, the sleepiness go away. So it is come and disturb us. Thus we have to fight with these mental hindrances. Restlessness, see, restlessness. Our eyes wander. We not be able to focus our mind on the main object. Think about this, about that, something like that. And remorse, think about the past. Oh, I'm not supposed to do like that. Why I do that? You'll be sorry, but we have done the wrong thing. This is one kind of mental hindrances. You doubt about something, especially you doubt about your meditation technique, something like that. That's why we have to be aware of all the time. Don't let any one of these mental hindrances to arise. Now I would like to talk about differentiation of mind and matter, which is the first of insight knowledge. As you regularly practice mindfulness meditation every day, you will come to differentiation of mind and matter. As a result, you will realize the impersonality. For instance, when you observe on the rising, falling of your abdomen, you may mentally know rising and falling, rising, falling. You will come to realize that the rising, falling movement of abdomen is matter, which an element. This one kind of material property among 28. Remember that, among 28. This matter. And the noting of it is mind. So just both mind and matter exist during the noting of rising and falling. And mind here means both consciousness and mental states, which is associated. Because consciousness does not arise by itself. It is associated with mental states all the time. But because mind is the chief or forerunner, that's why whenever you say or you hear the word mind, should be understood that it is mean consciousness and mental state. We already studied about it. Mental state cannot arise by itself as mind. They have to arise together and disappear together. But you just say mind and matter, we use only mind, use the word mind. When you read or you hear, you say the mind, so it should be understood that it's consciousness and mental state. Every moment of noting, just mind and matter. No person, no man, no woman, no I, no living entity is existing. And when you see something, you make a mental note that seeing. The one you see is form, Rupa in Pali word, right? Rupa is form, which matter. The noting of it is mind. See? In the same way, when you hear something, you note that hearing, hearing, hearing. The one you hear is sound. In Pali, Sada, Rupa, sound, which one kind of matter. The noting of it is mind. When you get any smell, you note that as smelling, smelling, smelling. In this case, smell is one of material things which matter. The noting mind is mind, not a person. So when you taste something, you may meant to know that's tasting, tasting. In this regard, taste or edible things or drink is matter. Like you drink juice, you drink water. What's water? Water is the water element, right? It's water element. So whatever you eat, what you drink, all this stuff, matter. The noting of it is mind. Similarly, when you touch with something, then you note that as touching, touching, touching. Actually, the one you touch, which tangible object, is matter. The noting of it is mind. Only mind and matter are exist at every moment of noting. So we should know that. No, we should know that it's only mind and matter. In the case of knowing or feeling, the sensation of the body, you may mentally note that pain or numbness, hot, cold, and so on, as the case may be. In this regard, pain, numb, hot, cold, and so on is Vedana, Vedana, or sensation, which is the mental state. Please remember, most people, when they feel pain, numb, hot, these things, they think it's the body. They think it's the body. Really, it's not the body. It's Vedana. It's one kind of mental state. But these feelings regarding about the body, reality is Vedana, mental state. At the noting of is mind, therefore the object is noted is mentality. Vedana is mentality. And the noting of it, you see, numb or pain, hot, cold, is mind. So both are mentality. See, the object is mentality, the noting mind is the mentality. So both are mentality. They are not a person, a man, a woman, a being. So when you have good concentration, you try to be aware of this the object, keep continuous your mindfulness, you will understand very clear about just mind and matter, except mind and matter, no person, no man in reality. Regarding mental or emotional state, when you think about something and get angry, you know that as angry. When you feel happy, you know that happy. When you feel sleepy, you contemplate it, sleepy, 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 such as angry, happy, sleepy, and so forth, which objects you are noted are mental states. See, all mental states. Noting of those objects is mind. So, both objects and mind are mentality. When your mind going up, you note that going up, going up, going up. While your mind wander, you note that as wandering, wandering, wandering. When you plan to do something, you notice planning, planning, planning. When you imagine something, you may a mental note that imagining, imagining, imagining. So the objects of going out, wandering, planning, imaging, and also what you see and hear in your mind are just mental objects. Sometimes we can see it by mind, right? It's not by eye. So when you see and hear in your mind, it's objects, mental objects. It's mental objects. So the noting of is mind. It's no person, is existing. So whenever you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you touch, you think, all just mind and matter, mind and matter. And when you make sitting down, or standing to sitting down, you contemplate on that sitting down, sitting down, sitting down. You make slowly from standing to sitting. When you make standing up, right, from sitting to standing, you contemplate it, standing up, standing up, standing up, slowly. Such as the movement of sitting down and standing up are air element. See, just air element. Just the movement is the air element, which is matter. The contemplating on those movements is mind. So just matter and mind, nothing else. See? Nothing else. And when you are sitting, when you practice meditation, you are sitting and practice meditation. You notice sitting, sitting, sitting. When you're standing, after you, from sitting to standing, before you walk, you make standing, standing. You know as standing, standing. When you walk, you notice walking, walking, walking. When you're lying down, you make a mental note that's lying, lying, lying. When you move, you know moving, moving, moving. When you bend, you know the bending, bending, bending. When you stretch your hand or legs, you notice stretching, 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 slowly, step by step. Such as sitting, standing, walking, lying, moving, stretching are matter. Rupa, that's matter. The noting of those is mind, just mind and matter. The intention to walk. So you make intention, not intention, intention. So the intention to walk is mind. The act of walking is matter. Just mind and matter. So since you get up in the morning and you fall asleep, you make a matter, you just see only mind and matter. So since you wake up until you fall asleep, every moment of noting, you will come to know that only mind and matter are existent. In fact, there's no person, no man, no woman, no self, no ego. The object is noted is one. Object is one. And the noting mind is another. You will see that separately. Right? You will differentiate this mind and matters very clearly in your mind. And for general people who are not practice this insight vipassana meditation, are still holding the wrong view, right, or belief on the dual set of mind and matter as I, or self, a person, an ego, a man or woman, a living entity. As they may think that I see it, right? Something I see with my eyes, something like that. I see it. The seeing of it is I. There is no I. Right? But actually, it's not at all. The seeing is I consciousness, which mentality. As you gain the knowledge of discerning of mind and matter, you will be able to remove the wrong view of personality, which is the cause of attachment. The wrong view of personality is the cause of attachment. Accordingly, meditator should observe the objects of realities, but not on concept. That means your objects of meditation should be realities. For example, when you observe your mind on the rising, falling of the abdomen, you are not supposed to see the shape of the abdomen, but the bodily sensation of movement. See, just the movement, sensation of movement. And also, when you walk, when you practice walking meditation, so without seeing the shape of the foot, it tries to perceive the movement, this movement, and the lightness or the heaviness of it. When you raise up your legs, you feel lightness. When you drop your legs, you feel the heaviness. I try to observe on this the lightness and heaviness of your foot. In the same way, when you sit or stand and lie down, try to perceive the supporting of your bodily position and lightness and heaviness of the body. But actually, it's not the form of the body. You see the form, this concept. This concept is become samatha, tranquility meditation. It's not vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation should be, the object should be reality. If you still sees the form or shape with concept. That's said to be your meditation is still in samatha, tranquility meditation. It's not reached to vipassana, insight meditation yet. And meditators who are practice insight meditation, their meditational objects should always be realities, not concept at all. When a concept is clear to your view, it's the realities will lie hidden. As when realities reveals itself, a concept will be disappeared. The difference of tranquility and insight meditation is, in tranquility meditation, you keep your awareness only on one object, right? In tranquility meditation, you keep your awareness only on one object and ignore everything. And on the contrary, in insight meditation, should keep your awareness on several objects that comes to you at the present moment. Know it as present moment while it occurs, but not before and after. Should be present. Should be reality. As now, you already know which practice is meant tranquility meditation or insight meditation. You can make inquiry of yourself that what kind of meditation is said to be you are practicing, and what is the purpose of yours? To gain jhana, absorption, or to gain enlightenment? You know about yourself, your purpose, your goal, your aim. It's your purpose and practice way must be in accord. You say you would like to gain enlightenment, you practice insight vipassana meditation, but your object is still in concept. You cannot achieve your goal. This samatha is tranquil state of mind. Samatha, Pali word, is the tranquil state of mind. By practicing one kind of tranquility meditation, you can attain the absorptions. You know, the jhana, right? We have arupa jhana, arupa jhana, step by step. Then live with happiness, because you gain jhana. You live with happiness, peacefulness in this present life, and would be reborn in the plane of Brahma after you die. Just exactly who gained the first jhana, first absorption, rupa jhana. After they die, they have to be reborn as the first jhana plane, as we already studied about that. But as you are not free from mental defilements, you may commit demeritorious deeds on many occasions, as we still as the world, then becomes a victim of your own evil actions, and then be reborn in the lower states of miserable existence. You become as hell being, or animal, or ghost. So here, vipassana is the right understanding. Right? Vipassana is right understanding of three characteristics of mind and matter. The purpose of insight meditation is to realize these characteristics which impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and unsubstantiality. In Pali we call anicca, dukkha, anatta. By realizing these three characteristics, we can exterminate every mental defilement, such as lust, greed, craving, hatred, ill will, jealousy, conceit, sloth, torpor, sorrow, worry, restlessness, remorse, etc. As long as we have any kind of those mental defilements, we are sure to experience many kinds of suffering. As mental defilements are the cause of suffering. When mental defilements have been destroyed, all kinds of sufferings cease to exist. Then you will experience the cessation of suffering by your direct knowledge. That's why we practice meditation, inside vipassana meditation. As to be able to remove this the concept of being, we need to contemplate on the nature of the four great elements, which earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. Just contemplate on this, their nature. We should see them separately in our body. It's mainly in our body, just only four kind of elements. When you realize their nature, there's no wrong view. There is no attachment. If no attachment, there's no suffering. Here, earth element here, it does not mean the earth, but something that is inherent in the earth. It's hardness, softness. Water elements means its characteristics. Fire elements means the quality of fire. Air elements mean its characteristics. You should understand that it's not really earth, it's air, something like that. A meditator can be experienced the characteristics, function, or manifestation of the great elements, either one of those. When you practice meditation, sometimes their characteristics appear. Sometimes it's their function, sometimes a manifestation. So one of those will be experienced. And briefly here, we should know their characteristics. The characteristic of earth element is hardness and softness. Its function is to act as a foundation. There are four elements, right? This earth element act as a foundation for other elements. It manifests itself as receiving or accepting something. The characteristic of water element is cohesion or fluidity. Its function is intensity. It intensifies everything which comes into contact with it. Like you have pounder, you put water, intensity, right? This intensifies everything which comes into contact with it. It's the manifestation is holding things together. Holding things together. That's our body, as form here. Because this water element, we have 75% water in our body. Right? It's holding things together. The characteristic of fire element is heat. or cold. Its function is to measure things. The manifestation is continuous supply of softness when you cook something. As long as you cook, it becomes soft. Because that's the fire element. Right? It's the manifestation of this fire element is the continuous supply of softness. The characteristic of